Hey guys, my name is Kamrin and welcome back to my channel. A lot of you guys always ask me, how did I start my business? What is like the basic steps to starting a business? And today I'm going to be giving that to you guys. This is what I would do if I was brand new to starting a business. This is not at all how I started. Mine was very rocky and quite messy, but I'm going to help you prevent from doing that. Our number one best thing to start with before you even get involved in money and anything is that you need to figure out your consumer base, or who you're selling to and what you're offering them. If you don't know who you're selling to, then you're gonna have no idea how to market or how to even access that customer base. You need to figure out, why is this group gonna want to buy from you? What is your product offering them? How is it going to change their life? Kind of in two markets. So I do sell waist trainers, which are a product that obviously offers results and makes some kind of change, but I also do sell clothing. So in that sense, if you are a person that's involved in a clothing aspect, which is basically a materialistic item that doesn't really do anything for anybody, there's nothing to compare and market better. So I would say in that you need to figure out what your brand message is. You know who Opoly is? Opoly's whole thing is for girls by girls. They're very focused on women empowerment. The activewear company Girlfriend, they're very big on eco-friendly. Like, all of their activewear is made out of recycled bottles. So you need to find out what your brand message is and kind of create this community. Clothing companies nowadays like to tackle one thing. A brand will stand for, you know, body positivity and inclusivity, and another one will stand for, you know, acceptance and growth, and another one will stand for women empowerment. If you have something that's a material item, obviously you need to find out what you're offering that consumer by purchasing your product. And if you're more sort of clothing item, you need to figure out what your brand message is. So after that, this is probably the most asked question. I want to start this and this and that, but I don't know where to get it from. Finding a manufacturer is super important. It really does depend on what you're trying to do. So if you're trying to source within the US, you're gonna expect to pay a lot more money for things. Wages are higher here, so that all plays into, you know, payments and things. If you are sourcing within the US, you would want to find a manufacturer that's near you so that you can go and meet those people and kind of have that relationship. Biggest thing with having a business to manufacture is having that relationship and being close with that manufacturer, because things happen and it's really important that you build that relationship with that person. If you are a little bit tight on money, I would tell you LA is probably going to be one of the cheaper areas to get items manufactured and made while still being within the US. But there's tons of wholesalers available online that you can get things done. In terms of doing wholesale, that means that you're not having custom made items, so it's gonna be pretty generic things that you print your label onto and have done. If you are looking to source outside of the US, you get tons and tons and tons of options that are pretty affordable. I believe that you can start a brand honestly with $500, maybe even $100. There's several wholesalers available overseas. The most popular one is Alibaba. I don't really quite know why people don't like to say that they purchase from Alibaba. I personally use Alibaba, and there ain't no shame in my game. Please try to find people that ethically do things. You can find some unethical things done on Alibaba. So Alibaba is a great place to start if your budget is pretty low, you are not able to do custom designs or anything, if you just want to purchase from the wholesale aspect of them. However, Alibaba does have a lot of companies that offer either OEM designs, or they offer custom designs. So OEM Designs, I don't know what it stands for, but I do know that it basically means, like, if you see a design that you like but you want to change little things to it, you can go ahead and do that. And if you're going to do a custom design, that basically means you're starting from scratch. That's what I've started to venture into now. I have started to do custom swimwear designs, and I'm working on custom workout sets now, but oftentimes I would do OEM. Like, I would change sizing and fabrics and colors and materials and things to make sure that I was getting the piece exactly the way that I wanted. I do highly suggest you do not let these people talk you into not getting a sample. They like to do that a lot, which is business. They want to hurry up and get you in. If you guys want, I can make a whole separate video about how to purchase off of Alibaba in terms of samples, what to ask for to make sure that you're getting the right thing. Also, if you're going to do custom designs, expect to have to use a high MOQ. So an MOQ is minimum order quantity, which basically means like they'll only allow you to do a custom design if you're purchasing 150 sets of something. Oftentimes with wholesale, the MOQs are pretty low. They'll let you get down to at least like 5 if you want. When I first started, I started out in quantities of 50. I would tell you start out in like ranges of 20 to 50 and then move your way up from there. It's better to sell out than to have too much. I'm gonna dive into a little bit about purchasing stuff. You need to really know your material. I spent a lot of money on things because I didn't know material. It takes me a really long time to get things out and launched to you guys because I'm like a crazy lady about my material. But when I first started out, I had no idea about materials. I didn't know about blends or anything like that. Don't waste a ton of money on samples because you can easily do that. If you're sourcing outside of the United States, typically there's going to be a language barrier issue. Personally for me, I always draw out everything. I show them example photos. I like hammer the point home because you will waste so much money on samples. I know personally for me, I have almost every sample is going to cost you around $50 to $150. It's just the way of the land. Like, just expect to spend a lot of money on samples. The sleeve will be ½ an inch too short and I have to be like, hey, the sleeve is too short, we need to remake the sample, and that's a whole other like $100 again to get redone. In order to prevent from having to do that so much, I do suggest just drawing out things. Pictures work wonders. So at this point, you're going to want to find your brand's aesthetic. So a brand aesthetic is super important. My aesthetic basically is like super simplistic, like girly, baby pink and white. That's kind of what I keep on my Instagram too. I think another company that has a great kind of view of a like obvious aesthetic is Joa Brown. Joa Brown's whole vibe is like streetwear, kind of dark, grungy. I don't know, like it's a clean, dark grungy. Set Active has a kind of aesthetic to it, very simple, very clean, like casual, street leisure kind of vibe. In terms of like a clothing company, like will most of your clothes be neutrals or will you have a lot of bright colors? Photography style, how you're going to be setting up your Instagram, you know, the look of the models that you're going to use. And then after you found your manufacturer, you've done your samples, you're gonna want to get into finalizing everything. So this is where we bring in the packaging. Packaging is super important these days. People just love packaging. Personally for me, I just like to keep all of my stuff and source everything through Alibaba. Currently that's just what I'm doing. I know there's some people on Etsy that do custom bags. I know Tish Wish, they're pretty neck and neck with Alibaba's prices. Like I said, it's only like $50 or $60 more. I suggest going ahead and having somebody design your packaging. You can find people on Fiverr that will do designs for you. So Fiverr is basically a website that you can pay as low as $5 for people to do things in terms of like graphic design, logo designs, you know, photoshopping, all these kind of things. I also suggest doing a little thank you card. I use Vistaprint for that. I order like 1,000 of them. I think it's like $200 and I'm good to go for a long time. So it's a recyclable paper card made out of recycled paper. You always want to advertise when you're using like recyclable things. It just gets people going. Like right now in this day and age, first of all, we do need to have recyclable stuff, but it is nice to let people know that you're using recyclable items. I have a little plastic bag that holds everything inside of there that's also recycled plastic, and then I have a recycled like poly mailer thing, and then I also put a little sticker on top of it. But you can just figure out what kind of packaging that you want to do yourself and what fits your vibe. And then you want to make sure that you're setting a budget up. Setting a budget and being very organized with this is so important. That's where I lack. When I first started my brand, I would just get, like, I would order a bunch of stuff and I'd be like, this looks like it would be worth like $50. I'm just gonna put it up for $50. And I wouldn't even account in like how much it costs for my website and how much my packaging cost, and I wouldn't even account all these things into the cost of the product, which you seriously need to do. Every time I have something that I'm releasing now, I will add all that up and then kind of get a break point. So if I were to sell it just to break even, what would that price be? And then also the price that's going to be for me to make profit. Make sure you're setting yourself a monthly budget for samples, for what you're having on the website, for just clothing in general, location, photographers. So our final one, you're gonna want to set up your website. I personally use Shopify. Kylie Cosmetics uses Shopify. Almost everybody will use Shopify. It's the best website platform there is. It costs $30 a month for like the basic platform fee. If you guys want, I'll do a video on all the plugins and apps and everything that I use, because there's a bunch of stuff I've added to my Shopify. So Shopify is great. I have like 3 brain cells and I managed to figure it out and work it out perfect. You can get it set up in literally like 30 minutes. It's just about learning, you know, how you're going to use it to market, because there's just so many apps that you can have on there that will help you with creating an email list, cart savings, email retention and bringing people back, and SMS marketing, and Facebook apps, and, you know, Facebook ads and Instagram ads. There's just so much that we could get into, but I'm not gonna get into that. We're just going over the basics today. But if you guys want a video on that too, I can also do that. That is all that I have for you guys today. That was kind of like the basics. It was an up and down kind of journey for me when I first started. Now, like on average, the shop will make from about $10,000 to $20,000 a month. It's not a piece of cake and it takes a lot. So it can be done. It's just a lot of work and you have to be cut out and built for it. What you put in always comes out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if any of the things that I mentioned, if you guys want to see a video on it, and I hope that this was helpful. Make sure to go follow me on all my social media. Give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe. I am trying to get out videos every Wednesday and Saturday now. I will see you guys next week or on Saturday or whenever I see you. Thank you so much for watching this. I will see you guys later.
Making money like a mint, laying in my ice like shrimp, mint condition.